Hey there, I'm Veronica Isles. I am excited to be with you on this lovely day. Thank you for being with me today. We are going to be talking about, and it looks like I already have questions. We are going to be talking about how to break through in terms of your manifesting. So I know that the waiting process seems complicated, and you wonder, what am I supposed to do during this waiting process? Am I supposed to do more techniques? Did I do something wrong? Why do I have to wait at all? I am here to answer your questions on this wonderful day, and I'm going to be helping as many people as possible. I will try my best to give the easiest advice to be able to put into motion so that you can get those results fast and get the experiences that you want in life. I do want to say studywithveronica.com is the place to get the free course. And if you would like to be alerted as to when I go online live, you can subscribe to YouTube, hit the bell icon, let them notify you, or you can be a part of my inner circle. Occasionally, I will send out the unlisted link ahead of time, and I think that's why I already had questions on this one. All right. So let's start. What do you do when you have a husband, that you have a child, and let's say it lives, let's say that you have a child and live with, okay, wants to be with you, but he's fighting with himself because of his family is making him doubt and pulling away. Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind on this question is that, okay, so basically it sounds like you are blaming uh, the fact that he's fighting with himself because of his family. So essentially, you're blaming his family for making him doubt and pull away. Okay, so basically, we're blaming an external circumstance for something that you're receiving right now in your relationship that is displeasing to you. So we're first going to admit that no other sort of outside sources, like a person, can't negatively influence your life. A person can't ruin your manifestation. They can't take away anything that you hold from within. So, in terms of what is inside of you, how you feel about him, how you feel about him loving you, how you feel about him wanting to be with you, how you feel about love in general, and what you think life can give you in terms of love. Uh, sorry, I got distracted by reading the second question. Okay, let's reel myself back into this other question. Okay, I need to read one at a time. So basically, inside of yourself, what do you live out in your mind when you think about him? We tend to get very passionate in our mind when it comes to relationships or people in our life that are displeasing us. So we tend to label them as bad people. Like you may be labeling his family as bad, as villainous, as having power to mess things up for you. And I'm not saying they haven't messed things up for you, but how do you want them to show up in the future? Do you want it to keep being messed up, or do you want harmony? Do you see him as able to love you independent of this other circumstance he's going through? Do you believe that you are worthy of love? That's another really good one. But just mindfully observing these things, and you don't have to have it all figured out. Manifesting something or manifesting an improved relationship isn't about being perfect, isn't about perfectly loving yourself. It's just about starting to explore these new ideas so that we can break the rhythm of what we've been currently experiencing. And then we get a little bit of momentum, and then it feels better, and then we continue onwards on that path. Okay, 1% to 8. Maybe one of Veronica's cats has ran off. No, the cats didn't delay me this morning. Unfortunately, it was something else. But I am here now, and that's what counts. Okay, does anyone else have a question? If not, I'm just going to answer with whatever advice and assistance that I think can best help people. And I see a lot of people when the manifestation hasn't happened yet. The outcome hasn't happened yet. The money hasn't come yet. The improved relationship hasn't happened yet. And this may feel disappointing. It may feel frustrating. And if you have to get out those feelings, vent those feelings, even complain to a friend, it's okay. Let it out, but don't allow a feeling of despair or a feeling of helplessness or unworthiness to overcome you. Tomorrow is always a brand new, bright and shiny day. And who knows what can come into being. So, your circumstances, your problems can change at any moment. Like circumstances don't have to persist and exist forever. James Moore is having issues with my presentation. Okay, so is there anything about your presentation right now that is working for you or that you can feel proud of? Have you given a presentation before in the past that you were proud of? If you are struggling with something in your life, try to first look at the good parts of it. For example, say you are struggling with money and you don't have enough money. Is there anything in your life that shows for money that you have kind of earned before in the past? So maybe you're not earning enough money right now, but is there something before that maybe you treated yourself to that you bought that was a little bit more expensive because at that time you had enough money, or maybe it was even gifted to you? So is there proof of something good happening in your life? So it's not all bad. For example, if you're trying to lose weight or improve your appearance, is there anything about yourself that you can find beautiful now? Things that are working in your life. Relationship issues. Is there a relationship in your life that is currently working? So, is there anything we can find about your presentation or even about your skill set in general that you can compliment and that you can like about yourself? And I do think that when we see the cup as half full instead of half empty, we can, in fact, effortlessly manifest better in our life, think more things to be grateful for. This is why gratitude works wonders, because if you can find things to be grateful for, even if it is completely unrelated to the problem that you're trying to fix in your life, it's proof that good things can happen and it will, by default, allow you to manifest better, things, other things to be grateful for. I love that color paint. It looks so peaceful. It's called symmetry. Someone else asked about it, and I could not remember what it was called, but it's symmetry. That's what it's called. And I love that color paint too. It actually looks different depending on the light, kind of like I always look different. If you look at me in all different videos, my appearance will literally look different depending on the light. It's really funny. I manifested my beautiful guy, but now he has moved out of town because of work. Can I manifest him back to my city? Yes. Or do I just stay happy in my affirmations about having a present love? Okay, you feel grateful for the things that you do have. Of course, you can have the specifics. Like if you have a beautiful guy, like you don't want him to be far away from you. I would be happy for him right now that he obviously has a job that he likes that allowed him to live in a new place. Maybe this is good for your relationship. Maybe this time apart will make him appreciate you more. But this doesn't mean that you have to be permanently separated. So, yes, stay happy in the present moment, grateful, full of love, full of new possibilities, hope for the future. I think that your affirmations should be about what you want to create, what you're feeling, what you're sort of drawing in, gratitude for what you have, sort of ideas about posing possibilities of the way things could resolve. But it's not that you sort of get fixated on the idea. So you want to be together with him in the same place. Maybe you end up moving to that place. Maybe he proposes marriage. Maybe you end up moving to another place entirely where you both get to live together. But daydream on what you would ideally like, not the limitations of his current job or money situation. Things change all the time. Maybe a new job opportunity comes up that allows you to be together and to, live a life of happiness. Uh, do we have any other questions? You know what? Oddly enough, it doesn't feel like are as many people here this morning. Did I hit like a wrong button or something? I don't know. Is it showing up on my main page? I don't actually know. Or are these just people that have gotten the link? I don't actually know. But you know what? We will just keep answering questions to the people who are here. I will check a few things. I don't know. Are we public? Is this public? I wonder if anyone can answer that question for me. It says it is. Okay. I guess it's just a lazy morning. Well, the 13 people that are here on October 13th, you are the lucky ones. So who wants a question answered? It's just a smaller number of people. It's odd, but everything is always meant to be. Thank you, Veronica. You are very welcome. And try never to feel limited by your current circumstances. Now, this isn't to say to try to force them to move. In fact, there may be a ton of circumstances in your life where you have absolutely no ability to do anything physical to change it, and don't try to invent ways to change it in your mind. Instead, just tap into what it would feel like to have the end result. And if he was in the same place as you, then you got to wake up every single morning and have a lovely day and expect him home during, after his day at work, like you would feel very relaxed, very relieved, very much at ease. So try to tap into those feelings as much as possible. Now, I know when you're trying to manifest something that you desperately need, and the thing that always comes to mind most is money, because money is a need that every single person has on this entire earth. Like, there's no one on this earth that doesn't need money to survive. And so money can feel very you can feel very needy for money, especially if you're not making enough money, if, all of these unexpected expenses are coming up, it may feel overwhelming, and try to just comfort yourself through those moments. Yes, there's nothing forceful you can do to change it. Be productive in your life, do what you feel creatively inspired to do to earn money, but keep feeling that a way will be made. But I think money is the biggest stressor because, again, it's something that every single one of us needs. There's no one that doesn't need money. Again, you can live without love. Like, you really can live without a married partner. Plenty of people do. You can't live without money. Okay, we've got a ton more questions now. I guess I manifested that. Hi from Lexington, Kentucky, sending love. I was in Lexington, Kentucky. I think it was Lexington. Yeah, Lexington. A few years ago. I had a very nice time there. I've tried your what if affirmations. They make me feel good. And you know what? That is the key indicator of whether or not a technique is working in your life. You're supposed to feel better. You don't necessarily have to feel high elated emotions, but you do have to break the rhythm of what you are currently experiencing. So when we have a problem, when we have an obstacle, we feel stressed. We feel anxious, like, oh my God, how do I fix this? I don't want this. If you're doing a technique like an affirmation that makes you feel soothed, makes you feel better, it's working. How often should we think of something once we've set the initial intention? Think about it playfully. When it comes to mind, the trick is not to force yourself to think of it. The more you think of it isn't going to make it manifest faster. In fact, you've probably manifested things before in the past that you've thought about once and it came into your life regardless. So the amount of time you think about something has nothing to do with how fast you'll get it. So it's more a quality of thought. So when it comes into your mind, don't say to yourself, well, I'm supposed to be letting go, so I can't think of it. We don't want to do that. We just want to playfully imagine ourselves with it in a very unattached way. So it's not that we desperately need the experience or the person or the material possession. We don't desperately need it, but we allow the imaginal act of being with it to make us feel, pleasure, enjoy it. And then you just kind of then shift off to something else that makes you feel good. The trick to manifesting something is not to get fixated on one particular thing that you want in your life and then to wait to manifest other things until that thing appears. Instead, manifest as a whole. So, what are other things that you feel equally as excited about? What are other things that you can get on board with making you feel good inside? Let's explore all of these different angles and ideas about the things we actually want. I've tried again and again to manifest my SP, and sometimes it works, but then it stops and he disappears. Okay. I would honestly say to stop trying. And this goes for anyone who's been at something for a while and they keep trying, and they're getting like halfway, not the right results. Stop trying. And this doesn't mean to give up. This doesn't mean that you are a failure at this or that it's not going to happen. But You can't keep sort of nagging at something and expect it to come faster. You have to find a place of peace. Think about this. Like, if this was a guarantee, you would relax into the idea about it being a guarantee, even if it wasn't here yet. Like, if you had a signed piece of paper, my SP will be with me on this date. Like, you'd just be like, okay, well, that's good. I can relax now. I don't feel like I have to do anything. So try not to feel like you have to keep doing something because it hasn't happened yet. Yes, you continue to allow yourself to daydream on that idea when it feels good and the idea of having it, but it isn't that you feel the need to fix it or you try to troubleshoot problems why it hasn't happened yet, or you say to yourself, well, I must be really bad at this and consider it a fail. Um, when you're manifesting a person to love you, are you giving the same level of attention, devotion, adoration, kindness to yourself? In specific person type situations or love in general or improving a relationship, I found that a lot of people tend to neglect themselves, not meaning to, but it's just that they want this result from this other person so badly and they just don't even wanna bother, giving anything to themselves, but you can't sort of make yourself invisible in this equation, and that's great that it's worked before, but again, you don't need this person for dear life. In terms of manifesting a specific person, please explore other options and think about the best person winning your heart instead of waiting, 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 trying to troubleshoot how to fix it and how to get this person to love me. It's been a struggle to wrap my head around money. Jerry Mouse. Money, I know it feels very elusive to so many people. It feels confusing. It feels like something that only some people are destined to have. I know everybody makes different amounts of money. I can't speak for how, the economy, like different class systems throughout the world. I know in the United States, there's a big middle class. It's sort of varied. The amount of people that are really rich, it's like 3% or 1% of like the really, really, really rich people. And then there's, of course, the poor people. Um, but the majority of people are the middle class. And they don't know, like, and that's how most people were raised. That's how I was raised, even lower middle class. I was just raised that that's who you are and there's no changing it. You're either born into wealth or, but there's so many self-made millionaires, multimillionaires. If you look at the billionaires in this world, yes, some of them started out rich, but a lot of them are just self-made from nothing. And it's really just about reshaping your relationship around money. And if money has always escaped you, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna feel resentful towards it, like it has abandoned you. It doesn't want to support you. I mean, and honestly, that might be what you are experiencing right now. But it doesn't have to always be that way. And you may not know what it's like to have a lot of money. You may dream of it, you may want it, but you don't actually know. You do know what it's like to not have enough, though, and you can sort of minimize the reinforcement of that as your future blueprint. So maybe that's what's happening right now. And yes, it sucks. And if you have to scream into a pillow, cry, it's okay. Like if you have to have a moment where you cry, just let it out, comfort yourself. I wish I could give you a hug during those moments. It's not going to last forever. A bright new day will come. Money, you will find a way to attract money into your life, even if you are completely clueless. You can say, universe, I have no idea what to do, how money is going to come, how I'm going to have more of it, but I believe in myself and a way will be made, even if it feels like I've been doing this for a while and getting nowhere. This goes for really any manifestation. Vernon Wellington, hi. What made money finally click for you? I just kept exploring new ideas about how I could see money in just a different way. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a better way, just a different way, because we tend to have a lot of similar thoughts and thought patterns. So start to first notice what you are reinforcing about money. Which of these ideas serves your higher purpose? which of these ideas you just kind of want to stop reinforcing, and how you can better sort of talk yourself through this. And in terms of manifesting money, I wouldn't just blindly sit down and say a bunch of affirmations that talk about, having financial prosperity and being prosperous, because I feel like that's not going to change the moment to moment feeling. Those could be fun for a few minutes. They don't always feel realistic. So how can we talk about money? So even have like a dialogue with yourself and say to yourself, again, I throw my hands up in the air. I don't know how to have more money. And I did this. Like it felt like I was never going to be able to own a home, never have a car. I was confused. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted a different relationship with money. And I knew I wanted to expand new ideas about that in my mind. So, how can I imagine spending money? That's a really good one. Where I want to live, how much money I want to have. Like, identify the number that you want per week, not the amount that feels realistic, but the actual amount that you want right now that is your true and heart's desire. And if it feels far fetched, oh well. The more sort of expansion that you can create in your mind and heart, the more you'll connect with those light bulb moments and flashes of ideas and inspiration. And if you get an inspiration of something that you can do, and you always know it's an inspiration if it doesn't like involve any strenuous work, if it's something just very light and easy, if it's like an inspiration to pay a mentor $10,000 that you have to borrow on a credit card, that's probably not it. Like just something light and easy. Like, it could be, like, going on a new walk, a new area of walking, during this day, and then you bump into someone who hires you for a job. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, something inspired with your perfect self. If I had all of the money in the world, what would I say to myself? How would I think about life in general? How would I wake up in the morning? How can I better emulate these things? How can I better alter the types of thoughts, patterns of thoughts I have about money? So just keep changing it up until something finally works. And what worked for me was just experimenting with new ideas until I started to make more money. And it wasn't a desperate need, it was just continually reinforcing a belief within myself until it finally came through. And I'm not saying you're going to have to wait a long time, um, but just keep pushing yourself to be determined in a new direction. How do you manifest a missing pet? Is it possible? Absolutely. I've helped people do this actually. And I have, in fact, manifested missing pets before. My Gavin, I manifested him coming home, and my William, I manifested coming home. So, if you have a missing pet, the best thing that you can do is when you envision them, envision them having a good time. I know this sounds weird because when a pet is missing, you're like, oh my God, they could be in trouble, they could be hurt. You panic. What about them having a grand adventure while they're out? Like, seriously, they're having the time of their life. It's like they're having a vacation. And when they come back, they're going to tell you all about it. So it's like this taking this new spin on this experience that would otherwise be, panic inducing. So you're going to see them as wanting to come home, see them as safe. You could even put out food like as you normally would. Prepare their bed. Just try to envision them having a good time and leading themselves back to you instead of again this panic, and soothe yourself through these moments. Remember, there's a ton of other pets that have found their way home. I mean, I've heard some of the most amazing stories. In fact, you can look up, I think it's Wonder Dog Lassie. I the dog that was the inspiration behind the Lassie. I can't remember when Lassie was popular. Hopefully, I'm not aging myself by saying this. Hopefully, people still know who Lassie is. But I looked this up, and Lassie was a real dog that went missing at a gas station or something like that. I can't remember Lassie's real name. At a gas station and got away from her owners. I think it was a girl. I don't know if the real Lassie was a girl, but I think Lassie is a girl. In any case, but like literally traveled throughout states and like mountains and this whole adventure. It's insane. But this dog, Lassie, the inspiration behind Lassie did find her or his way home. But it is possible, like, anything's possible. If you have a desire for something, and it sounds like a good desire, like you want your missing pet home safe. So I will imagine it now. I don't know if this is a dog or a cat, even a mouse. I don't know who this is, but I want them to be home with you, and they're going to tell you all about their great adventure, and you're going to feel so wonderful, so at peace, and it's going to happen. Uh, manifesting my PhD, it's hard. Affirmations are hard to come by. You don't have to find someone else's affirmation. You can say ones of your own. You could just improve your self-talk in general, which is really just an affirmation in and of itself. I sometimes don't know if my seemingly not wanting it badly has something to do with it. 7 years into it, I am so tired. Well, I am sorry that you are tired. It sounds like you need to manifest ease in your life. Um, I'm assuming you want to finish it and you want this PhD, and then you're going to be a doctor. I almost did a PhD program. Then I decided I just didn't need it, because that's when my YouTube stuff started to take off. So I never did it. In any case, I don't think you necessarily need specific affirmations about the PhD. I think you need affirmations of ease, that life is going to get easier for you and anything you want is going to effortlessly fall into place. So I would try affirmations of comfort, just self-talk that's comforting. You're gonna get through this moment. It's not gonna be so hard. You're not going to be tired all of the time. This will be, think about yourself at your ceremony, your graduation ceremony, and having succeeded in the accomplishment and what you want to do with this degree. But again, you don't have to like want it super badly. Like we don't manifest only the things that we have a burning desire for. We're manifesting everything at every single moment, and plenty of these things we have no burning desire for, or strong opinions of either way. So, I just you're in this program for a reason, unless for some reason you don't wanna be in it anymore, and I do want to say that you're always able to change your mind, like, even if you put 7 years into something, you can, in fact, not finish it, and that wouldn't make you a failure in any way. We can like, if you want something and you have this goal for something and then you decide it's not for you can change courses, like, you are not you don't owe anyone anything, you're not obligated to finish. I paid for the X back in 25 days. Okay. For my partner of over 16 years, he had a woman answer his phone. Okay, this sent me back. I'm in such a deep state of depression. How can I get past the 3D? So I am sorry. He had a woman answer his phone. Do we know if this woman is his current partner? Well, I think the thing we have to first say is that no matter even if a woman answered his phone, you could still have the result that you want. Definitely don't go into a deep state of depression because of anything in your life, to be honest. I know it sucks. I know you didn't want this woman to answer his phone. I know you want to be with him. Sounds like you have a long history with this person. But take this as a moment to kind of regroup yourself. And, you deserve better than this. So I would take this as a sign and an indication to set your standards even higher. In a situation such as this, honestly, the big tendency would be to lower your standards. And I hate to say that, but the reason why is because if you found that this happened, then it would almost feel like you have to lower your standards in order to be with this person because they're clearly not with you and they don't want to be with you. So I need to sort of like beg and wait until this person will be with me. Like you feel very ignored in this moment. But I would take this as a moment to stand up for yourself and be strong. Like you deserve so much better than that. So you deserve someone who can make that up to you. And I do think he can make this up to you, but then you should really say to yourself, is it enough for me? Is what he is offering enough for me? Or do I just need to reconcile with him and find that peace and then potentially be with someone else? But try to not get so hung up on having your ego decide on your desires. Again, this doesn't mean you can't be with this person. It's it's just like you don't need someone for dear life, and if someone hurt you in that way, it may be that you'd be happier starting fresh with someone else. Pick what's right for you, but definitely set higher standards that he has to meet in order to have the time, your precious time. Um, I would not reach out to him. The fact that another woman answered his phone, like, you're hurt. Don't get in that depression. Like, pull yourself back up. Again, you're worth so much more than this. But let's not jump to like the worst conclusion too, because maybe this isn't like a love interest at all. Maybe this is, I don't know, some random person. Let's not jump to fear scenarios, but I do think that take this as an indication to raise your standards. You deserve someone to always honor you, respect you, love you, adore you. And yes, it's possible for him to do this, but may the best man win your heart instead of waiting around until he's no longer with this woman and will be with you again. Like, do you see it how in one scenario you're like begging and waiting? And in the other scenario, you're empowered, you're exploring your options of who can best meet your standards? See the difference? Okay, studywithveronica.com is the place to get the free course and my mentorship. I am kind of booked solid today, although I have little bits of windows here and there. So if you'd still like to book for today, I can potentially get you in. The next spot isn't until late next week for coaching. So if you can't get in today, it's going to be kind of a long wait. But hopefully, I'll be online live again very soon. And I love you all. And I just want you all to find your dream come true. Thank you for being here, 1% 28. I truly, truly appreciate every single one of you.